So what is your pain threshold? Hey, Chris Zuiker with Media Options, help companies acquire the raw, unfiltered version of the brand. Work on some of the best domains on the planet. Check that out over at MediaOptions.com. Check out ChrisZuiker.com. I do a daily podcast over there. And my thought today is, what's your pain threshold? And why is that important? Why is that important specifically with selling a domain name? Now, one of the typical responses I get back when I do my outreach on a domain name is, hey, how much is that? And so we'll write an email and go back on an email. And then it comes across, hey, no thank you, not interested. Now, it used to bother me. Like, Bob, what? Are you kidding me? You just asked. You had some interest. But now you're coming back and saying, no thank you, not interested. Don't ever email me again, screw you. And it's like, well, why is that happening? And it's interesting. So I'm going through another sales program with Jordan Belfort and the Straight Line Sales Method. Awesome course. Truly recommend anyone in sales should go through that, because it's just, first of all, it's just straightforward, right? It's straight line. But one of the things he talks about in this course, he talks about this pain threshold, right? So in other words, what you have to do is you have to get someone to love your product, to love you, to love your company, and then you have to get them over this pain threshold. And what I realized in this process, these responses that are coming back to us, and listen, I do the same thing, okay? I'm just like these people who I email, and I'm sure you are too. It's just inherent in our nature. It's part of psychology. But the reality is that it's just our threshold for pain. Okay, so many instances when we're brokering, let's say even a 7-figure domain name, we'll get responses back that say something like, okay, yeah, Chris, I'll give you $100,000, $200,000. Okay, we're like, nah, listen, the domain is literally 7 figures. We have multiple offers that are much higher than yours on the table already. You're not even in the ballpark, but then they're just that's it. I'm done. That's where I'm at. And I get it, because what this is the pain threshold. Now, it's different for every company, it's different for every person, it's different for every, level of the sales pyramid. Just yesterday, I did a video on YouTube. I posted it on LinkedIn. Check it out on YouTube. And I talked about my view of the domain market. How you start with the lower level, which is the lifestyle and nonprofits, and you move up to small business hobbyist. Then you go up to regional and national small businesses, the VC-backed businesses, the Fortune 500, and there's micro, steps in between there. But in essence, that's it. Okay, and so each of these levels is going to have a different pain threshold. But the importance, I guess the importance of the video today is, number one, just to identify it for you. If you're getting that back to you, you understand it's a very real part of sales, a very real part of the domain name, but you got to get beyond that, right? The sales happen when you move beyond that. Because by default, if someone's just saying, well, hey, this is what I want to spend, this is what I'm comfortable spending, they don't really understand necessarily the intricacies of how a domain name impacts a brand. Now, I'm not going to go into that today because I'm trying to keep this under 5 minutes, but listen, that's the 7 dimensions to a domain name. It's positioning, it's global positioning, it's leadership positioning, it's branding, it's marketing, it's SEO, it's email security, and it is the ability to scale. That's why some companies saw a 40% increase when they rebranded. There's a very real impact, it's a very real risk to a brand if another company acquires your domain name and launches on your domain name. But you're saying, well, Chris, I've got a trademark. Listen, I've got trademarks too. Doesn't do any good, okay? Because there's 45 different trademark classes, and because of how I'll just give you an example. Okay, Blue Jeans. Who would have thought Blue Jeans would be a video conferencing company? I wouldn't have, okay? But they are, okay? That's over and over and over again with every single different brand. There's multiple companies that are out there. I just did one of my podcasts this morning on Carrot and how there's Carrot.co, there's Get-Carrot, there's Carrot Wellness, lots of other Carrot businesses, but only one company owns the simplicity and the clarity of Carrot.com. Give the guy a backlink. Give them a backlink. Awesome company. So happy he shared a story, and just generally just a really cool brand. So check it out. What's the pain threshold? What's the pain threshold? Okay, one action item for today. Listen, if you price your domain name at the threshold or below that threshold, guess what? It's much easier to sell a domain name. So that's what we call liquidity. That's what we call liquidity as far as getting your domains in front of wholesalers. And that's why, quite honestly, $2,000 to $5,000 range is the level that, let's say, a GoDaddy, a Uniregistry, a Brand Bucket, these domain names sell their brands because it's within that pain threshold. There's not much dialogue that needs to go along. There's not much like internal thinking and wrestling with return on investments and board of directors because it's just there. Now, like I said, it can be $200,000 for some marketing managers. Like, listen, got a $10 million budget. We've got $500,000 left over, maybe. I can spend $200,000. I can justify it. $200,000. You're like, nah, it's $1 million. It's $1 million. $2 million, $5 million, $10 million, $30 million. What's your pain threshold? Okay, if you have not done it, go over to chriszuiker.com. I have a book.com strategy. You can check that out. It's in the footer section. Check my podcast out also. And listen, if you found any value in this video, share it up. You just got done listening to another episode of .com Strategies. Check us out online at chriszuiker.com and at mediaoptions.com.